Welcome back to this live coverage of the match between Isipatana and Wesley College in the Singer A Division League here on www.TheScore.lk. We're in a packed ground here at the Royal College Sports Complex, seeing a game that has been absolutely even. 10 points all at half-time. Referee Irshad Khade in control of the game, and just before the game starts, there's a little bit going on with Randhira, who was substituted in the first half, being told that he can't come back on, and that's absolutely right, because Randhira did get a bit of a head knock and he was replaced by Madampe, and it wasn't a blood bin, so as a result of that he needs to go back. So a little fast one tried there by the Wesley College team to get their first choice prop back on the field, but unfortunately for them, the referee is wise to the occasion. Now after that has sorted itself out, we've got the kick-off for the second half to get underway. Nothing in it between these two teams except for the fact that Isipatana have Saldin, who has been sent off. So as a result of that, their scrum and line out in a bit of strife. And they also have to make sure they make an extra tackle in defense because of that man down. First scrum of the second half on the right flank. Isipatana, Surya Rachi and Kongahawat, the try scorer, right behind the scrum. This is Hewage. Hewage with a brilliant little jinxing run, but he's isolated, doesn't have anybody to help him. Himasha comes in off his wing and does so. Surya Rachi goes blindside once again. His Bandara trying to bust his way to the line. They're in the 22. A good leg drive from the Isipatana team. Shamli Nawaz looks like he's told them a thing or two on how to tackle this Wesley game plan, but it was a maul and it was held up and it didn't go anywhere. So as a result of that, the ball goes to the defending team, and that's a good call by referee Irshad Khade. But it was an enterprising bit of play by Isipatana in the first few minutes of this half. Sigurds picks it up off the back of a rather shaky scrum for Wesley. Knocks it forward though. And the referee will have to bring play back. Three scrums in the space of a few minutes. Nicely off the back for Surya Rachi, looping round. Kongahawat. Hiranta Pereira comes in on the scissor. The ball is available, but only for Wesley. This is Situm Piris, who somehow found his way back onto the field after that horrific injury he suffered in the first half. Ball left behind. But penalty to Isipatana. The arriving players not staying on their feet, says referee Khade. And Situm Piris, after that terrible injury that he suffered, where we saw his body going into convulsions, has cleaned himself up and found himself back on the field. So not sure how medically astute that is, but it's happened. This is the number 15 for Wesley, that's Madhusankar. This is Silakaratna. Finds MYS Pereira. Two good runs from the centre and the winger into the 22. The ball is available still for Wesley. Wonderful leg drive there, great coordination from the forwards. But unfortunately, Madhushan looks like he's knocked it on. But play on, says the referee, and it's a try scored by there we go again. Lovely try. Try scored by MYS Pereira. So a great leg drive by the Isipatana forwards. That's what created the space. So Wesley, as they did in the first half, drawing first blood. KRD De Silva has missed most of his kicks to goal. Well, he's missed all his kicks to goal this time around. So unfortunately, this looks like a more difficult kick as well. But it's done well from the right-hand side of the field for the left-footed kicker. Managed to put that one over. Isipatana won't be too worried. It's still early doors in this first half. Restart collected nicely by the second row forward. Punches it off to Sigurds. De Silva puts his left boot to it. This is Himasha playing in the fullback position. This is Taranatha going on the outside where he should have cut in. This is Disanaika who manages to catch it off the front of the line out. It's a bit of an untidy ball there. A defensive line out for Wesley. Inside their own 22. These are the pressure balls, of course. But Isipatana without Saldin, who was their number 2 jumper, might find it a little bit more difficult to compete in these lineouts. They attempt to do so, although Sigurds takes it nicely off the back. Hands off the first defender. Situmpiris does well to get there. Takes the ball forward. Sigurds moves it wide to his fly half, who puts a terrible kick in. Don't know why he was hoping to kick that one, but nicely touched back by Hiranta Pereira. Surya Rachi waits. This is T.H. De Silva in the number 7 jersey for Isipatana, who's been making a lot of the play. Finding himself at first receiver instead of Kongahawatha several times. But the referee says the ball's not coming out, so he gives it to the attacking side. Few replacements coming on. Number 18 for Isipatana is GAP Pereira. Coming on in place of GVN Silva, the second row forward. Both teams adopting this tactic that we've seen teams adopt in the recent past. lifting their arms to make as much room in their thoracic cavity as possible to try and get as much oxygen in. The second half is where the legs start hurting, the muscles start burning in the scrums, and you need to get as much oxygen in as you possibly can. Scrums have been pretty evenly contested in this game, I must say. Both front rows looking technically very efficient. Isipatana front row a little bit bigger, but the entire pack of Wesley are looking quite tight and technically sound. Hiranta Pereira brought down in the tackle by De Silva, who's made the move to fly half. And it's a penalty to Isipatana this time for illegal entry. Number 10 coming in from the side, says the referee. Taranatha comes running in off his wing to try and say put it down into the corner, but I think he has been overruled by Hiranta Pereira and his coach on the sidelines close to where Hiranta's putting his tee down. Referee Shamli knows where his players can kick the ball from, and he would like him to try and get the 3 points from there. 13 points to 17 looks much better than 10-17, and there's a lot more time in this game left. So Hiranta Pereira's got a powerful boot. He's lined this up, and just from behind him where we are, it looks like it might just go. And he's hooked it just wide. He needed to start that off a little bit closer to the right-hand post, which is where all right-footed kickers kicking from the right side need to do. And here's a replay. It started off in line, but then just drifted ever so slightly wide of the left-hand post, and that's where kickers need their experience at these different grounds. They need to try and make sure that they start the kick from the right-hand side of the posts. See a replacement for Wesley as well. We see Usman Taha going in at scrum half in place of Madhushan, who's had a good game. KRD De Silva, who's lost a lot of weight from last year, puts in a left-footed dropout, which is collected by Ridwan. They try to take it quickly, but the referee says, hang on, I haven't finished giving my lecture, which is of course what referees like to do. So it's still 17 points to 10, but Isipatana exerting some pressure despite being a man down. They're doing what they probably should have done in the first place and going for touch. Probably want to shorten this line out. They've gone for the full complement, and we have Silva who wins it at number 5. But the 5-meter call once again. And that's the correct call from referee Irshad Khan. The ball has to travel 5 meters before it can be caught by any player in the line out. And you see the second row there, his hands are sticking way out in front of that 5-meter line. So that's an illegal throw into the line out, which is why you've got a scrum back on the 15-meter line. But still a good pressure position for Isipatana. They can exert some of it if they like. Let's see whether they can. 7 against 8 in the scrum. It's a good wheel. And Suryarati does well to snaffle Sigurds. Silva is thought he was in under the post, but unfortunately for him, the referee spotted the fact that he was unbound at scrum time and he had come a little bit. He had come out a little bit too early, bound himself from just his wrist and not from his shoulder. And another injury worry in back play for this Wesley College team. Still another player down for Wesley. There's a player down, but play must go on, says the ref. But actually, no, he's now talking to his players. Bit of commotion with regard to who's going in and who's coming off, etc., etc. Bit of a discipline issue here with Dylan De Silva being given a bit of a talking to by the referee. And as a result, Isipatana get 10 meters all for themselves. This is silly. Wesley are playing well, they're in the lead. They don't need to do anything unnecessary and mouth off to the referee and squander what might be an important lead. This is C.D. Silva. Nice short strides, manages to find his way into a gap and set it up nicely for his forwards. This is Bandara to Disanaika. Disanaika needs to be secure with this ball. He manages it this time. Surya Rachi to Kongahawatta. Kongahawatta to Himasha. Himasha to Ranasinghe. Ranasinghe snaffled by the new man Taha. Loose ball picked up by Wesley. Referee plays advantage for the knock-on. This is Madhushan. Sorry, he's still on the field. Ranasinghe. Surya Rachi finds a big runner. Disanaika manages to offload nicely to Ridwan. Ridwan lifted and dumped in the tackle. Beautiful defense by Wesley. Although they concede the line out, it was a good moral victory for them there. Kongahawatta runs across field. He's the try scorer for Isipatana. Nice little loop out. This was Himasha. Himasha breaks one tackle. Trying to break another. Wesley defense up to their task. Surya Rachi looking for runners. This is Maldania coming back on the inside. Sets it up nicely for Silva. Disanaika offloads nicely to Darling. Surya Rachi looking for Kongahawatta. Gets the ball away to the danger man Hiranta Pereira. He hasn't done a lot of running today, Hiranta, but he can be very dangerous with the ball in hand. Looking to set up players rather than take it up himself. Silva to Himasha. Himasha shows and goes, but he runs into three of the Wesley players. The support is there quickly though. Not staying on your feet, says the referee, and he seems to be calling for one of the Wesley players. Going to be having a chat. He might actually be giving an official warning to the team. Next time Wesley need to be careful. They might see a yellow card themselves. Let's not forget that Isipatana are playing this game with one man down. Saldin has already been sent off for foul play. And this is a much easier kick for Hiranta Pereira, and he's choosing to go for the points, which is not a bad call given that we're only about 12 minutes into this second half. So a lot more time left in this game, just about half an hour left, just under half an hour. So 3 points on the board will be very valuable at this point. Hiranta not trying to do too much, stroking that ball gently through the uprights. He's well aware of the power of his boot and strikes it sweetly, and it's a 4-point ball game. Another replacement for Isipatana. Gunaratne comes in. Not sure who's gone off. We'll tell you as soon as we know. So it's 17 points to 13. This is De Silva. Another penalty for diving over the ball. Got to stay on your feet, says referee Carter very correctly. And Hiranta will look for another chance to clear his lines. The crowd not very happy about that little incident there. KRD Silva trying to palm the ball back in. He managed to do so, but only into the path of the onrushing Isipatana player, who collected it gleefully and headed for the line. But he was over the line when he palmed the ball, which means that the ball is out. So touch judge Jinkapir is getting it absolutely right. And the crowd just a little bit upset because they thought that was a try for Patana. That one won legitimately over the 5-meter line. This is Hewage. Shows it outside and comes back, gets it off nicely to Hiranta, who puts the kick in. Just too much on it for Himasha to get there. But Isipatana making good ground. That's a terribly risky quick throw that was taken there by Wesley. Hiranta steps back inside after seeing the numbers, but the referees called it back for the original knock-on. I think there was sufficient advantage there for that knock-on, but referee bringing it back, and the Isipatana will be happy to get a second bite at the cherry. Prize of Patana. Remember, Patana are hosting this game, and the green jerseyed machine is roaring very loudly behind us here. You can hear us live in the center of the action here on TheScore.lk. That engagement was well and truly won by Wesley. But not as happily as the hooker Madhuvanta would like. Darling under pressure on this side of the scrum. Ball went down, but the referee says play on. Wesley hack it away, but only into the hands of the onrushing Taranath. They've turned this over, Wesley, but referee says illegally so. They've had hands in the ruck. It puts time off, and he wants to have another chat with the captain. He's already had a chat, maybe given a warning. So number 3 is keeping on, going down. Next time I'm going to send you off, says referee Carter. So Hiranta Pereira, after that last kick, manages to get another chance to put this kick over and come within 1 point of the Wesley score. And it's a good kick. So it's 17 plays 16. You see Hiranta without any crowd on the outside on his left side, booting it through nicely. He took the kicking duties for the Sri Lanka under-20 team last year, and has a very cultured boot on him. Doesn't try to hit the ball too hard, just strikes it very consistently every time. So 1 point in it, 2 close games so far that have been shown to you live on TheScore.lk. Kingswood versus St. Joseph's yesterday, which was a 1 point game until the last minute. And here we've got a 1 point game in the 23rd minute of the second half. Isipatana playing Wesley. It's getting a bit desperate now. Suryarachi looking for his big front row ball carriers, but they don't do too well. That was a terrible, terrible option. Shocking option taken by Taranath. Don't know why he didn't turn the other way and try to hack the ball out, but tried to run and ended up being dragged over his own line, having to ground the ball. It's a very good attacking scrum for Wesley. Definitely see Sigurds coming in off the back of this one. Needs to get quicker ball though, and Suryarachi read the play. Madhushan. And that's a try. That's a try scored by Arya Vansa. Simple work. Madhushan drawing 2 defenders. Taranath came in off his wing, and he should probably not have done that. And Arya Vansa scores very easily. There's another player down though, and I think that's probably Situm Piris. Who's really not had a great time of it today. Had a very bad injury earlier on. Had a kick to the head, I think. Sent his body into convulsions. No, that's not him. But there is a Wesley player down and out. KR De Silva having a disagreement with the corner post on the 22-meter line. Those posts really should not be on the line itself. They should be a little bit away from the line. It's only the corner flag on the in-goal area that should be on the line itself. It was getting in the way of his approach to his kick. So let's see whether he can make this a 7-pointer and put his team out of reach of another 7-pointer from Isipatana. But the kick is not great. And Isipatana run this one back very quickly. You can see their intent. All they want to do is score. Hiranta Pereira. The restarts have been well collected by both teams. Technique is very good in these basic skill areas. You can see 2 very educated players, Shamli Navas and Terence Henry, who are coaching these 2 teams. So you can see that their technicalities are very good, very efficient. As we see a penalty coming Wesley way, they'll be relieved for that. Try and get back into their half after scoring. But that's a terrible kick by the Wesley player. Ranasinghe drops it backwards, and Taha wins it for Wesley. Terrible kick made much better by Wesley, and the referee is going to reach for his card. He's told the captain several times that the infringements at the breakdown are just too much. And we're going to see Madhushan getting sent off for 10 minutes in the sin bin. Madhushan is the scrum half, and he's been very good. So it's 14 plays 14 once again. Was that knocked on? Let's see what the referee says. Yes, says the referee. And that's going to be a pressure time for Isipatana. They don't have for Wesley rather, they don't have a scrum half. So they'll need to watch for this number 8 break. They'll need to get another defender in behind the hindmost foot of the number 8 to make sure that they can make this tackle, because Isipatana are playing with 2 flankers and no... Well, they're playing one shot in the scrum already. And this is a tailor-made situation for a blindside number 8 move, which is what they're going to be doing. No, they're not. Surya Rachi takes it up by himself. I don't know why he did that. All he had to do was drag his winger in there. That was not very good thinking by the Isipatana team, I have to say. Should have been a number 8 draw. Give it to the 9, which is exactly how Wesley scored their last try. An 8-9-14 effort. But not to be this time. So KRD Silva, who played scrum half last year, has the ability to do so very well. Will be moving into that position. And looks like I gave him a bit of a curse, because he did move into that position, but didn't do very well with that pass. It's always difficult coming in there so late in the game when you've been playing at fly half, where you're used to everything coming at you at a different speed, a different angle. Suddenly you find yourself at scrum half and things go awry. So T.H. De Silva at the back of the Isipatana scrum. A lot resting on him here. But Surya Rachi tries to go for Kongawatta. Again ignoring the blindside move. Hiranta Pereira steps inside. This is Pereira. Sistaranath coming in off his wing. Trying to stay on his feet, but great defense by Sigurds there. You're holding the ball up. It's a maul, says the referee. That's great work in defense by Wesley College. Fantastic work. Sigurds holding that ball up, but they've come away with it. And it's a try. It's a try to Isipatana. Try scored by the replacement. That was Gunaratna who came on and scored that try. You saw it on the replay there. So it's a 1-point ball game once more, and you can see how important that conversion that KRD has missed was. Not saying anything because the crowd tells it all to you. A wonderful kick by Hiranta Pereira from the touchline, taking Isipatana into the lead for the first time in this game. Wesley desperate now. So 1-point ball game once again, except that the lead has gone the other way. Wesley ball. Taha. That's a great run by Tilakaratne. Coming in on a nice angle there. What have they been doing without doing that all this time? Sigurds goes back in. And it looks like Isipatana relaxed after going into the lead. KRD De Silva to Sigurds. Sigurds spins out of one tackle nicely. Ball coming out. Ball coming out on the Isipatana side, but obviously hands in the ruck there. Sigurds doing well once again. And this is going to be an easy three-pointer for Wesley if they choose to take it, which inexplicably they don't choose to do. I just don't understand why they didn't choose to take that kick at goal. Trying to score. And Taha drops it in the face of immense pressure from the Isipatana defense. Isipatana hack it away and chase. KRD De Silva tries to find Situm Pires. It's a good counter ruck by Isipatana, slowing the ball down for Wesley. I am absolutely amazed. I must say, I am flabbergasted as to why Wesley did not choose to take the kick. It would have been 25 points to 23. And a lead is a lead. Doesn't matter if it's 1 point or whether it's 2 points or 10 points. If you're in the lead, you're mentally on top of the opposition. And KRD Silva could have put that one over. I could have put that one over, to be very honest. But somehow they choose not to take it. Squandered 3 points there, and they might live to regret that decision. You can see the desperation on the faces of both teams. Shouts of Patana. Shouts of Zamzam Zaki. Good scrum by Wesley, but to no avail. As the ref says, they were boring in there and lifting. So they've conceded a penalty, and Isipatana will want to take their time on this one after getting out of jail there by not conceding the 3 points. So an attacking line out for Isipatana. They'll want to work their way into this Wesley half and keep the game there. Waiting for the ball, which got kicked into the construction site. Nicely stolen by Wesley there. Brilliantly done. This is KRD Silva. Shows and goes. Gets it out to Tilakaratne nicely, but it's a forward-looking pass. Referee says it was marginal and go on. Yes, it was a forward pass, so referee calls it back. It's a very important scrum for Isipatana. They can't lose the ball here. KRD Silva gives it to Hiranta puts a cross kick in for the chase. So left winger MYS Pereira with really nowhere to go. Right winger rather. Arya wants the try scorer that was with nowhere to go. Ranasinghe will try to outpace Taha. Doesn't manage to do so. Holding on, says the referee. Wesley dropped the ball once again. Too many handling errors for them outside. Referee's calling a player once again. Not sure what the infringement was, but it's a yellow card. So Isipatana are down to 13 players. And finally, they have opted to take the kick, Wesley. Offside, says the referee. That's what the infringement was. The winger was offside in the defensive line. And that's why he forced the ball to be dropped. KR Silva with his first successful kick of the day, second successful kick of the day, I'm sorry. Hiranta Pereira restarts. Wesley are back in the lead. We've got about 3 minutes left to play here in this encounter in the Singer A Division League. Silva puts it deep into the Isipatana half. And we don't have 3 minutes to play. That's the end of the game. And it's a fantastic last minute victory for Wesley. They conceded points, but somehow managed to get a win. And 25 points to 23. It was a brilliant game of rugby. Very efficient. Technically sound by both teams. And a well-deserved victory from this Wesley College team, who have been promoted into the A Division and showing that they can beat the defending champions of the A Division League. Well done, Terence Henry and the rest of his team, who have been responsible for bringing this Wesley side from what was a B Division outfit to beating the defending champs here at the Royal College Sports Complex. It's a brilliant game, and fortunately for the Wesleyites, they got another lease of life when they had a last-minute penalty awarded in front of the posts. KR Silva opting not to kick a similar positional penalty that was given to them earlier on, but smartly opting to take this one, and with one of his few successful kicks of the day managed to put his team into the lead, and that lead was what was the one that mattered. Isipatana leading by 23 points to 22 with just about 5 minutes to go in the game, and that's how it finishes here at the Royal College Sports Complex. The hosts being beaten by Wesley, and that really sets the cat among the pigeons. Royal have lost. We've got Isipatana who have lost, and we have Trinity playing Dharmaraja tomorrow also, which will be live on the score for you from Kandy. And it's going to be a really interesting weekend, and we're here in just the first weekend of the Singer A Division Schools League, and we'll be showing you the entire season live on www.TheScore.lk. Thanks for joining us. My name is Shanaka, and we'll have this match update up for you a little while later on in the evening as well. Make sure you tune in tomorrow for Trinity versus Dharmaraja, and we'll be bringing you all the highlights, all the action on TheScore.lk from this wonderful Schools League. Here we are, 25 points to 23, Wesley College beating Isipatana College, and it really has been an outstanding start to this school season. We'll be back tomorrow.